Hey guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the bullet journal video that I promised you guys. You guys kept asking me to do a setup and flip through video, so that's what I'm going to be doing for you guys today. Also keep in mind that this is my first bullet journal ever, so I'm kind of just jumping into it and I'm very new, but obviously it's going to change and evolve as time goes on. I hope you guys enjoy, and if you want to see my bullet journal setup, then just keep watching. So of course, let's start off with what I use. The bullet journal that I use is the Leuchtturm 1917 dotted A5 journal, and I think this one's the most popular amongst the bullet journal community. The pages on the inside are ink proof, so I find that ink doesn't bleed whenever I write on it, which is very, very important to me. And as you can see on the front, I just added this little lace trim sticker along the side, as well as I used a gold Sharpie to write 2017 on the front, just for added little decoration. Next up, we have the pens that I use the most often, which are the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens. And then occasionally, if I want some gray accents, I will use these Copic multi-liners in the shade Cool Gray. I have 0.3 as well as the brush. Lastly, for more colorful and decorative things, I will use these Copic markers, and I just have multiple pastel shades. Those are pretty much all of the materials that I use for my bullet journal. But let's move on to the exciting part, which is the inside of the journal. So when you first open up, you of course see my name, but then on the very first page we have my key. Now, if you're not familiar with the bullet journal system, I really do suggest you see, I think his name is Ryder Carroll's video. He's sort of the inventor of the whole bullet journal system. So he's the one who created these keys, and I just sort of stick to the classic symbols, nothing fancy. Basically, I use a dot to signify a task, and then I turn it into an X when the task is complete. If I want to migrate an event to a later date, I turn it into a right arrow, and if I want to schedule it for sometime in the future, I will turn it into a left arrow. If the event is cancelled, I will cross it off. If it's an open circle, that means it's an event. If it's a dash, it's a note, and then if it's a star, it's a priority. And don't worry, I know this is a little overwhelming at first, but I will sort of explain later how I use each of these and how I find it helpful. Next, over here we have the index. What's awesome about this journal is that it comes with pre-made pages, which is great because you don't need to go with a ruler and make your own lines and everything. And basically this is used as you sort of fill up your journal. You keep going back and filling in the page numbers of important pages, and the idea is that you won't have to flip through your book looking for a page where you wrote something down. You can just refer to this and then flip to the corresponding page number, which is another thing I wanted to touch on. Every single page in this journal is numbered, so again, you don't need to do anything. All of the work is done for you. Oh yeah, by the way, I actually skipped the first blank page because I watched this bullet journal video that said that her index filled up quite quickly, so to avoid any issues, I wanted to skip this page so that if my table of contents filled up, I could just make my own. So the first actual spread we have is the year-long future log. So this is sort of like my overview of the entire year. So I have the month on the left, and then I have events that may happen on the right, and I did this for all 12 months of this year. I don't really like to go crazy with the decorations or the crazy colors. I kind of like things minimal and simple. So of course it's not that filled up yet because the year has just started, but I already have some important dates like birthdays and holidays, that sort of thing. So this is kind of like the big boy, the big overview calendar, any set in stone dates that I really need to remember. Then after the future log, we have my New Year's resolution page. Again, it is not filled up yet because the new year just started, but I plan on just putting my New Year's resolutions down. I think it's kind of a good idea to write down your New Year's resolutions so that you're held accountable. I never used to write them down, but I think this is a good year to start. And then on the other side over here, we have my watch and read list. So this is just a list where I can put like films, TV shows, and books that I want to watch or read, and as I go along I can cross them out or add to the list, that sort of thing. So then after that is the first monthly spread. So this is for the month of January, of course. This is again sort of like a trial and error period because it's my first bullet journal and I don't know what is the most effective for me. So as of right now, I have the vertical month-long setup. I know some people like this method and some people like this method. So to kind of figure out what I like, I did both for this month. Who knows if it's gonna stay that way. I might just stick to one or the other, but as of right now I kind of have both. So I'll start off with this page. Of course I just have January written on the top. I have the days written out all the way down here, and then I have the day of the week written next to it. So if it's Sunday the 1st, that's the first line. And then I kind of did it a little differently, and I split up the 2 columns into personal, which is just sort of like events or appointments that I have or things to do. And then I have my YouTube side, which is going to be for my posting schedules, videos that I have to upload, maybe Instagram pictures I have to upload, that sort of thing. So I just wanted to divide the 2. Right now, with the way that the bullet journal system is sort of set up, I kind of foresee using this method the most because you're able to use the bullet point system and everything, but it's just kind of nice to see the layout of the month and everything, so I have that over there. And then below the monthly calendar, we have the monthly future log. And again, if you haven't seen the initial bullet journal video, this might be a little confusing for you. I will try to explain it as best as I can, but the monthly future log is basically things that you have to do that might not have a specific set in stone date. So this is kind of like your to-do list for the month, and then whenever you're setting up your weekly spreads, you can look back on this list and think, is there anything on this list that I can do that week or that day? And it just kind of helps with your productivity and everything. So yeah, that's my current monthly spread layout. I kind of foresee myself referring back to this page a lot, and I do think I'm going to keep the first little bookmark on this page. By the way, this notebook comes with 2 of these ribbon things, so you can keep track of 2 different pages, which is awesome. After the monthly spread, we have the trackers, which is very popular amongst bullet journalists. I don't know if that's the technical term, but I've watched a lot of videos and many people seem to have these habit trackers and expense trackers, and I was like, you know what, maybe that would be a good idea to start tracking, especially for the new year. But first up, we have my habit tracker over here. So I have the days of the month sort of just written all along the side of the page, and then on the leftmost column I have all of the habits that I want to keep myself accountable for and sort of keep track of. So we have working out, eating no junk, spending no money, that sort of thing. And then on the days that happens, I will fill it in these little boxes, and since it's dotted, it's super easy to fill in the boxes and everything, and the goal is to sort of color in the whole thing, hopefully. And then below the habit tracker, we have the mood tracker, which is another thing that I found interesting when I was watching all of these bullet journal videos. I would have never thought to track my mood, but it's kind of a good way to sort of see how your month is going, and the goal is, again, to keep it as high as possible because you want to be in the best mood as possible. But those are sort of like my lifestyle trackers, and then over here on this side we have my expense and income trackers. So this, I think, is going to help me a lot because I really want to start budgeting my money correctly, and I feel like writing it down helps you a lot, especially nowadays when it's just easy to swipe your credit card. I think it's nice to sort of write down and see how much money you're spending, how much money you're gaining. I'm excited to see if this will actually help me spend less money, or maybe it'll just make me feel more guilty for spending the money that I do. But as you can see here, I just have the date, where I'll just put the date of the transaction, the description, where I'll just describe what I spent my money on, and then plus or minus, and that's where I'll put the amounts. And then at the end of the month, I plan on calculating it and seeing how much I spent and how much I gained, and hopefully it'll give me a little bit of perspective. After this page, I have my video ideas page and my portfolio ideas page. So these are just blank pages, and it's just sort of going to be an area where I can brain dump whatever video ideas I have for that month. And I decided to throw in portfolio ideas because, if you guys didn't know, I'm applying to university and I want to just have an area where I can brainstorm ideas. So this is going to be sort of like my brain dump page, and I probably will have more of these throughout the month, but I thought it would just be good to have one at the very beginning of the month just to set everything up. So after this page, we have the very first weekly and daily spreads. Now these are nothing fancy because these are probably the pages that you have to set up the most often. So for example, the weekly spread I set up at the beginning of every week, and then of course the daily spreads you just sort of rewrite your days as you go along. So of course this one says Monday the 2nd, but once I finish this list I can just write Tuesday the 3rd and just keep going. And you might be wondering why I have a weekly spread as well as a daily spread, and this is sort of the reason why I was drawn to the bullet journal system and why I thought it'd be good for me to start using it, because I really like the funneling aspect of the to-do list. We have our yearly log, which is this page over here. We have our monthly log, which is over here. We have our weekly log, and then we have our daily log. And that seems like really overwhelming, but I will show you guys. Let's do a demo of how this would work. So it's January right now, but let's say I have an event that's planned in April and you don't have your April monthly log set up already because you don't want to like obviously set up your whole bullet journal at once. So you'll just sort of write that in so that when you're setting up your April monthly log, you can put that in and refer to this and see if you have anything else you need to put in. As you can see, this week is from the 2nd to the 8th. So what I do when I first set this weekly spread up at the beginning of the week is I check back on the monthly spread and see if there's anything already pre-scheduled in here that I need to put in my weekly spread. And I know a lot of people don't do these weekly spreads because they find it kind of redundant with these daily things, but I just kind of like to see a weekly overview, so that's why I have this, so that on Monday I can still see what I have to do on Sunday, for example. And then of course we have these daily sections, which is sort of more for rapid bullet journaling, word vomit, anything that comes to your brain that you think you might need to do, you put this on your list, which is awesome because sometimes it's a small thing that you might not find it necessary to write in your like monthly log over here, but it's sort of just like pick up groceries and that sort of thing. So that's what these sections are for. The awesome thing about bullet journaling is that you set it up at your own pace and however you want. So let's say for Monday the 2nd, this is all I have to do. I can just start Tuesday the 3rd right below it. I know it can be a little confusing and overwhelming at first. It definitely took me quite a bit of time to wrap my head around the system and how I would use it, but keep in mind you can customize this to your liking. I just like having it sort of like a funnel system. Essentially, when you're writing your list, you are referring to one level up in terms of the hierarchy. So when you're writing your dailies, you will refer to your weeklies. When you're setting up your weeklies, you refer to your monthlies. And then when you're setting up your monthlies, you refer to your yearly thing. So I know it's a very repetitive, but that's kind of the point of bullet journaling. It helps you increase productivity and sort of realize what is important and what must be done for that day, for that week, or for that month. So I'm just gonna do a quick little example. So let's say on Tuesday, I want to film a haul video. But then I realized, you know what, there's not enough time for me to do it, so I can either change it to a right arrow. The right arrow means migrating it to a future day. So let's say I want to film the haul on Wednesday instead. Now, since I haven't started setting up my Wednesday daily section because Tuesday is not over yet, I will write film a haul over here on the weekly section over here, so that when I'm setting up my Wednesday one, I can remember to write film a haul right there. Now let's say for some reason I don't want to film a haul this week, but I do want to film the haul this month, so I will change it to the left arrow, and then I will head over to my monthly spread and I will either write film haul over here on the future log if there's no specific date that I want to do it on, or if there is a specific date, I will write it over here on the date that I want to film it. So let's say I want to film it on the 14th. That way, when I'm setting up my weekly spread during the week of the 14th, I can refer back to this and see, oh, on the 14th, I need to film the haul. That's sort of like a quick rundown of how the bullet journal system works, or at least it's going to be working for me. Again, everyone uses it in their own specific way, and that's the beauty of the bullet journal system, is that it's very customizable. So this is sort of how I have it planned out in my head. Again, I'm a first timer, so I'm sure everything's going to change and evolve as I realize what I like to do and what I prefer. Let me know if you guys want to see an update video. So I hope you guys found this video helpful in any way. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, if you want to join the notification squad, you can click the little bell button next to the subscribe button and you can be a part of the fam. I hope you guys have a great, productive day, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys.